What's up, Airsofters? Welcome to another holiday gift guide here at the Evike.com channel. This holiday season, we're releasing a couple of these. This one is a little bit different from the last video we put out in that we've upped the budget a bit, and I've got some of my favorite suggestions for holiday gifts for either yourself or your favorite Airsofter. We're setting the cap kind of close to 500 bucks on this one, 500 and below. It will also contain rifles, pistols, and kind of everything in between. Again, these are not necessarily the best options, but they're some of my favorites and best works to get your attention on social media. So let's get right into it. Now, before we get into all of my suggestions, a couple things worth noting. Nothing is in any particular order. I'm not doing things in ascending price or in ascending favorite. This is just a collection in a random order of all of my kind of favorites at this 500 and below price point. With that out of the way, let's get right into my first suggestion. This is an EMG Noveski licensed N4 Gen 3 AEG. This one happens to be in flat dark earth, although they're available in black and tan. You can get Noveskis in just about every shape or form in Airsoft now, both gas blowbacks and electrics. This AEG is a favorite of mine because it features some really nice SEMA internals, including that SEMA quick buffer system, which allows you to change your spring very quickly without having to remove the gearbox. And these bad boys retail for $374 on our website at the time of filming. Thanks, Santa. Next up on my list of favorites this holiday season is the SEMA Platinum Tactical AKM AEG. Now, this one is unique because it's got the CNC Picatinny handguard up front. This is that Z style or Zenico style. I like that you've got kind of classic lines in the middle here, but you've got all of the attachment space that, in my opinion, most AKs lack. You've got the pick top rail on top of the dust cover that is hinged to allow you easy access to your battery. You've got the pick rail segments on the front for all of the accessories you want, and you have a very cool Z-style stock which has an adjustable cheek riser. You've also got a really cool motor grip, as well as all of those great SEMA Platinum internals. A lot of great performance with a lot of upgrades already done for you. It's all full metal, and for that, you're gonna pay about $469 on our website right now. So the price is a little bit higher than a standard SEMA Platinum AK, but all of the upgrades furniture-wise are done for you. Coming up next is an LMG. Now, LMGs have come a long way in Airsoft, not only in performance, but also in the sheer amount of ways that you can get them. This is an A&K Cybergun FN licensed middleweight M249 Minimi, and this is the Mark 46 configuration, which gets you rail attachment points on the front end as in lieu of the handguard or lack of a handguard with that heat shield. It also gives you the retractable stock with that shoulder rest as well. In this configuration, you're getting great performance as well as the ability to put on attachments, and that middleweight weight is an excellent balance between the almost all polymer featherweight and the full metal heavyweight. This weight balance gives you all of the performance without all of the fatigue, and gives you a little bit more heft to give you that added realism. And for that, the cost on our website at the time of this filming is $429.95. Next up, we've got another FN. This is the EMG FN Hurst licensed SCAR Light AEG by VFC OEM. Now, a couple things that I like about this. First, just the finishes and the build quality of these VFC-based SCARs is impeccable. The performance on them, the internals have been revised from older generations of VFC-based SCARs, so this is the latest internals and capabilities that you're gonna get out of a VFC-based SCAR, licensed through FN Hurst and produced by EMG. You've got the really cool kind of inline wired stock, so you don't have any wires hanging out here. The battery is held in the UGG boot, and you can get this in a variety of colors. I think these are really underappreciated. I know that there are a ton of SCARs on the market, but the performance that you get from these, the build quality that you get from these, and really the very unique looks as compared to just kind of generic M4s and AKs on the market, I think the SCAR is where it's at. And this retails on our website at the time of the filming for $409. Thanks, Santa. Not to be confused with like the cleaning chemical 409, like 409.0 cents. Next up, we've got the Krytac Chris licensed Vector Gen 2. Now, this is part of a new release that Krytac is coming out that includes their Mark III Trident series, but this new release for 2024, end of 2024, 2025 includes an all new Vector. The Gen 2 has a buffer tube and retractable stock, and features Krytac's new stock that fits your battery and has a kind of a slimmer profile. They've kind of revised the ergonomics of it. I think it looks incredible. You get all of that really cool vector performance, and because you've got now the buffer tube and stock combo, it's rear wired, so you can fit larger batteries to play longer, and you're not trying to fit a battery in the pistol grip here. For this, you're gonna pay $469 on our website at the time of the filming. Depending on when you see this video, it's either up for pre-order, it will be in stock soon, or if you're seeing this after the holidays, it's probably already in stock and definitely worth checking out. Next up on our list, we've got the EMG Helios Daniel Defense licensed Mark 18 R3, which means Riz 3. This one has the SEMA Platinum gearbox, and it's pre-installed with a Gate Aster V2. Now, it's worth noting that you can get this exact rifle in both 350 and 400 FPS variants with or without the Gate Aster pre-installed. If you're looking for ultimate performance out of the box, you don't want to change anything, the Gate Aster pre-installed one is a great option, and it retails for $474 on our website at the time of filming. But you can save yourself a little bit of money by going with a version that has not got the Gate Aster pre-installed. If you wanted to put in your own electronics, you can do that. It comes in a variety of colors, all black, this really cool kind of battle brown, as well as a dual tone that is black receiver and tan handguard up front. I love the Riz 3 system. It's a really positive, solid lock. It has plenty of M-LOK spaces on the 3.6 and 9 as well as on the 45. The grip surfaces and the stock interface are very comfortable out of the box. I think if you're looking for, ideal performance for under 500 bucks, you can't go wrong with this. I am noticing now that the rear sight is in the wrong place, and that's for packaging reasons, and I should have noticed that before we started filming, but now you and I get to look at this together and accuse me of not knowing what I'm doing. Now, earlier in the video, I referenced Krytac's new Trident Mark IIIs, and one of them is also on my list of my favorite holiday pickups this year, sub $500. These new Trident Mark IIIs really give a lot of updates to a platform that was already a really solid performer. My favorite length in the lineup of Mark IIIs is the CRB-M. I think it's a really good length for both outdoor and indoor. Some of the excellent new features they've included on the Trident Mark IIIs are, of course, the newly designed stock with a slimmer profile, still tons of battery space. Stock is new, handguard is new, although it's still M-LOK and still has plenty of space. The lockup is very cool. The receiver itself hasn't changed. You've got ambidextrous controls on both the mag release and on the select fire switch, but internally, you've got a newly designed gearbox that can take aftermarket trigger board MOSFETs like the Titan, as well as having other performance upgrades inside and an all-new hop-up unit design. Overall, the performance on these is incredible out of the box. You've got a whole lot of new furniture upgrades as well, making, an already excellent platform even better with these Trident Mark IIIs. You can get these on our website right now for pre-order if you're watching this as soon as it comes out, or if you're watching this later, it's probably already on the website, but we're listing these for pre-order right now for $389. Moving on to my gas blowback rifle suggestions for this year's holiday video of 500 bucks and below. We've got the EMG CGS Colt licensed M4GBBR. This is an M4A1 Riz 14.5, as vanilla as it gets for base kind of AR-15 M4 looking things. And that's why I've chosen it. Rather than go with something that's kind of already gussied up and with a bunch of attachments on it, or with like a more modern rail, I went classic with it. The nearest comparison that you will find to the CGS system is kind of like the TM MWS ZET, and that thing's expensive, and at the end of the day it still leaves you wanting for upgrades. Compare that to the arguably very affordable $499 price tag of the CGS version of the M4A1 Riz. You get a ton more performance, a lot more customizability, tons of aftermarket options kind of already pre-installed to give you a ton of performance, and really nice kind of FPS and performance out of the box without needing to change anything, which I think is huge in this price point for a gas blowback rifle. Super reliable, STANAG magazines, SP Systems performance thanks to that CGS build overall, really classic lines, but modern gas blowback performance. So my second gas blowback rifle suggestion is arguably a bit of a meme, but also kind of not. The G Levar series of lever action gas blowback rifles, or gas airsoft rifles, they're not really blowback, kind of came out of nowhere this year. And while I think initially everyone's response was, that's ridiculous, they perform really well, and they bring kind of a much needed update to airsoft lever actions that hasn't existed for a long time. Personally, I like the Levar 15 with the full stock, but getting those in stock can be a bit of a challenge. So if you're looking to get something for the holidays, the Levar 7 is an excellent choice. It's really compact, making it excellent for indoors as well as outdoor play. It's got a really cool lever action cycling action. The magazine-fed aspect of it means that you're not struggling with trying to load BBs with a feed tube into the side of it like every other lever action in airsoft. You've got ambidextrous magazine releases, and because the top end is basically an M4, you've got access to M4 style hop-up units, M4 style upper receivers and rail systems if you ever wanted to customize things yourself. But out of the box, these things are absolutely unique and very, very cool to see on the airsoft field. And you can get into one of these gas-powered lever actions from G&G for $360 at the time of this filming. And it comes with a... Before we get too far into things, I do want to mention that while I'm making suggestions for ones that I find to be personal favorites of mine, or ones that I think would be great as gifts, it is worth noting that buying things for an airsofter can be extremely difficult because you might not always know what somebody needs or wants. And a great solution for that is something like a gift card from Evike.com. These gift cards are great because they can be preloaded with any dollar amount that you see fit, and an airsofter can come to the store and purchase things that they need, taking all of the thinking off of your shoulders. Now, while I do have suggestions for some of my favorites, ultimately, if you're in an impasse and you're not sure what to choose, a gift card is a great option. Moving on to my favorite gas blowback pistols in this price bracket for the holiday season. My first recommendation isn't anywhere close to the limit of the price cap for this video. I would be doing you guys a disservice if I didn't recommend the original high kappa. There are some caveats though. At $159.99 on our website at the time of this filming, the Tokyo Marui high kappa 5.1 is a reasonably affordable pistol. And while they can handle green gas, the reason I say that is old versions 10 years ago really couldn't. While they do handle green gas out of the box, the reason I'm recommending this is that they are infinitely customizable. This is the pistol of choice for speed softers because of how customizable they are. You can throw every aftermarket part that is compatible with TM high kappas at these, whether you want aluminum anodized slides or custom mid-frames or custom grips or grip safeties or the hammer or the magazines or the trigger or the blowback unit or the outer and inner barrel or the hop-up unit. Like you can literally customize anything on here. And while out of the box they retail for $160, to get them to the level of performance that you might like, you could be spending close to $500, which is why I think for a more advanced airsofter that wants to get into tinkering, these are an excellent gift to try your hand at customizing and upgrading. Just know that despite everything being TM compatible, 90% of the time, things will take some hand fitting. So if you want to learn how to tech, how to upgrade, and how to customize, this is an excellent place to start at $160. And with all that said, if you are looking for something in the high kappa sphere and you didn't want to upgrade, you can get yourself a Terran Tactical, which is pre-upgraded out of the box, already has some excellent performance and really cool grips. You can get yourself a Staccato, which also uses high kappa magazines, is that 2011 frame and gives you all of that performance without having to spend the money on doing upgrades. And you could even get yourself a 1911 if you wanted a standard 1911 and get yourself an original Salient 1911 or 2011 from Salient. There are tons of flavors of the high kappa platform, all of which are excellent options that don't require upgrades. Next up on the list, we've got the Sig Pro Force P320 M18 MHS. This one is in tan and happens to be green gas powered. Now this retails for $169.99 on our website. And of the M option, or the P320 options from Sig Sauer, this one is my preferred length. I also love that they come with an optics mill cut, kind of from the factory, so you can put on an optic like so, this Sig Air optic. And while I do really like the length of the M18, you can also get an M17, which is a little bit longer if that's kind of your flavor. But I think out of the box, the M18 is kind of my preferred length. I like the way that it looks. And the nice thing about these being kind of licensed by Sig Sauer, produced by Sig Sauer, is that they fit Sig holsters. And finally, the people's champ, the Glock. This is a UMX Glock 17 Gen 4 by KWC. Now, there are, once again, a million different ways to get a Glock in Airsoft. UMX produces 17s of multiple generations, 19s and 19Xs. They produce 34s and some oddball ones, I think like the 43 or the 48. Basically, however you'd like a Glock configured, there is an Airsoft equivalent of it. My favorite happens to be the Gen 4 17 from KWC as an OEM. I think the fit up of the slide, I think the recoil impulse, I feel like the trigger and the overall performance being CO2 powered is some of the best performance, in my opinion, of all of the Glocks available. And if you're looking for something to function as a training tool, in addition to being an excellent airsoft gun, this is about as good as it gets, in my opinion. If you are a fan of Glocks and you're looking for something to be an excellent parallel training tool as well as an excellent airsoft gun, the Glock 17 from UMX Gen 4 by KWC is an excellent choice. We'll put the price up here for $164.95. Thank you. And this, as well as everything else you've seen here, actually, let's bring everything back up here and close it out. So hopefully you found this video interesting and there was something in here for either yourself or an airsofter that you know. Make sure you stay tuned to our social media as well as here on our YouTube channel for our next video, which is going to contain kind of smaller items, a little bit more budget oriented, things that you can buy in multiples for a group of airsofters, and really things that every airsofter needs. We'll call that one our stocking stuffers guide. We'll see you next time.